Welcome to week 5 of NFL Game Picks. I'm here with my boy, Mr. DJ Gamble, and Chris Wright. Dude, not the cup. Not the cup, man. Either way, week 4, I think it was a little bit underwhelming.
Why do you say that, Austin?
Not just because, I felt like a lot of more matchups were going to be better and, a lot more, contested, and it wasn't as much as it. There was a few matchups, though.
Yeah.
Like the Jacksonville-Cincinnati game, surprisingly interesting. Let's see another one. Your Bears one was slightly interesting.
Most of the games to me were
Fair
surprising. I wasn't
lot of them,
expecting
yeah.
the outcomes of some of these games.
Like the Saints one?
Definitely wasn't expecting that outcome.
Both New York
Definitely.
teams went into
Jeez.
overtime and won. That was interesting. The Washington-Atlanta game was one of the most entertaining games. I watched the highlights and it was just go back and forth. It was
Those
nonstop.
Texans, pretty close one.
Yeah, pretty close one, right? The
almost
Bills
as-
beat the Texans by 40 points, by the way.
Does that make you feel better about the Dolphins?
Yeah, we
Because it was 5 more points.
yeah, just a tad bit better.
We're a step above the Texans.
Yeah, just above them. Tampa Bay, New England was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Weather kind of sucked, but
Fell
aside
asleep
from the
at
point, huh?
halftime. Fell asleep at halftime.
Yeah, typical Chris conduct, but that's fine. Yeah, Dolphins got dumped on. Bears looked decent for the first time in a while. Saints, I think, had a misfortunate loss. It could have gone to anyone, and the
It
Giants
shouldn't
just
have
having to
been-
score a
It
touchdown.
shouldn't have been that close to begin with.
Yeah.
I really don't. Well, I'll get all mad all over again.
Not again,
Go
DJ.
ahead, show us your emotions. Open up.
Let
to
it
us,
out.
DJ.
Let it out, DJ. Okay, so
This is a safe zone.
that brings us to NFLGamePicker.com. Go ahead and check out NFLGamePicker.com for all your game picking needs. Me, Chris, and DJ, and the rest of the crew use NFL Game Picker on a weekly basis in order to pick our games. It's well organized. It's online. It's all virtual, so no paper trace or anything like that in terms of, I used to track all my games on paper, so it was definitely not the funnest. Week 5, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks for the first game of the week. Thursday Night Football. NFC West divisional game on Thursday Night Football. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm picking the Rams to win this game. The Seahawks defense is horrible. They're one of the bottom. They're like a bottom feeder in the defense statistics right now. They're in the bottom half. They allow over 300 yards per game passing, and Matthew Stafford likes to throw that rock. So that's what I'm picking. What about you, Chris? Who
I'm
you got?
going with the Rams as well, just for the same reasons. Rams offense pretty good. Seattle's defense pretty bad. So just keeping it easy and rolling with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams as well. And it's merely for the same points that you guys are saying. Seattle has looked better.
Should
But-
take Seattle, man. You got ground to make up there, buddy.
I'm just like a game or two behind you, dude. It's not a big deal.
Just saying.
I'm 2 games behind you.
What?
I'm pretty sure we'll have some differences throughout the rest of the video. I don't need to do it in the first game. But yeah, I'm going Los Angeles as well. The Rams are a really good team right now. They had a pretty bad loss to the Arizona Cardinals last week, which was, I think, one of the most surprising games, if anything, results of last week. But let's move on to the first game of Sunday. We have the New York Jets at the Atlanta Falcons, and in this game, it's in London. It's 9:30 a.m. London game.
You gonna wake up, watch this one?
Probably not. I think this is probably one of the worst matchups, which I'm pretty happy they're sending it to London. This is a game I can wake up, I see the results from, and watch some highlights, and then start off my day with football.
If I wake up, I'll wake up. I don't, I do.
Yeah.
There's no big deal. I'll wake up at halftime
If
probably.
I wake up that early, probably gonna watch some soccer anyways.
Yeah.
So I might tune in for a little bit.
I don't know. I'm
gonna go
indifferent
with the
about this.
Falcons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going
I
with the
don't know.
Falcons.
I just think they're a slightly better team.
I'm going with the Jets. The Jets defense.
What?
Yeah. They have like a middle of the pack defense. Their defense isn't horrible. They just can't score the ball for nothing. and you got two bottom feeder teams. So I just like the Jets defense more than I like the Falcons offense.
Hey,
Is this more so you not wanting to pick a NFC
little
South
bit.
winner? Okay.
sometimes a
A little
bottom
bit. Well, no,
feeder-
I picked them 2 weeks ago.
No.
Yeah,
Don't
but
even go there.
in a close game like this, I'll go with the rival.
I don't know what's gonna
I
come
was
out of
just
that
gonna
mouth.
say sometimes bottom feeders are like lobsters, man. What's you got?
Yeah.
What's wrong? What's wrong with
Yeah,
the
I
bottom
picked
feeder,
a
bro?
lobster a couple weeks ago, but when you got two equal lobsters right next to each other, I'm gonna go with the one I never had before.
Ooh.
That's just me.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
All lobster are created equal.
No, they're completely not. And I'm this just like last game. This one's a little bit hard for me, just because they're not great. They're not great teams. Like
Yeah.
like we said, this is not a game I'm gonna be like, oh my god, at London football. I'm not gonna I'm not
Set
going
a
crazy
line,
over this
why-
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Besides the point, I was really surprised that the Jets beat the Titans last week.
Mm.
And who did the Falcons beat?
The
I'm not mistaken.
football
The-
team
the-
by 4.
No,
they
no,
lost
they
to
they
the
they beat the
football team.
Giants. And the Giants just beat your Saints. This is so many things going into consideration.
Oh, you're talking about like their only win in the
Yeah.
season. I thought you were talking about who they played.
Yeah, no. I'll go with the Falcons on this one, just for the mere fact that I think they're a better team. They have a better quarterback, obviously, with Matt Ryan. But Zach Wilson was mediocre, decent, not the best on Sunday, but he was pretty good. He
Been
was a
playing-
major part in the
Been
reason they
playing
won.
pretty bad though. Like,
Yeah, like a 1
Throughout
and
the
2.
year.
He's a Jets
touchdown
rookie
to
quarterback. Like
interception
I don't
rate.
know what else you should be really expecting. But let's
True that.
keep it on moving.
Yeah, let's move on to the first game of the 1 o'clock window. We have the Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Denver lost Teddy Bridgewater
Yeah.
last game against the Baltimore Ravens, and it was
Uh,
due to a concussion.
I
It
saw
didn't
the
look
hit.
like a normal like concussion type hit, but then when you look at the replay, like
He gets hit pretty
he
hard.
literally
yeah.
gets hit with the crown of the helmet to hit the face mask, and he kind of like snapped his neck in a weird way. He was fine. He walked off on his own will.
Yeah.
Is he gonna play this week? That's a huge factor on whether or
Literally.
not if the Denver Broncos can win this game.
I don't
'Cause
think
if
he's
not,
gonna play.
I'm going with Pittsburgh if Teddy doesn't play, but it may be a game time decision. I may switch over to Broncos if Teddy is playing. If not, I'm 100% going Pittsburgh.
You can copy
can-
and paste what you just
Yeah.
said and put it on my face too,
Yes, sir.
because it's literally the exact same reason.
I'm going Pittsburgh either way. I don't think
Either
Teddy's
way?
gonna play. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they're more talented. They haven't been playing that great, and I think Tomlin hasn't really had a losing season ever. So I think they're gonna start winning some games.
He's definitely gonna have to like instill something in that
Yeah.
Steelers team because they're used to winning. They're even like right now like it's similar to the point they were I think 2 years ago when they made that trade with the Dolphins for Minka Fitzpatrick. Like they were
Yeah.
not doing very good,
Yeah.
and then they just went on a hot streak. And then last year they were the longest undefeated team. I think it was 13 or 11 weeks in between that window. So this team has a lot of high expectations, and they're not meeting it at all. 1-3 is not a beautiful start for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know their fans are not happy about it. So
Although this could be a chance for Drew Lock to win his job back, maybe.
it could be.
Potentially.
And then poor Teddy, dude.
Potentially.
He just keeps on getting screwed over by like ridiculous things, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and DJ are on the boat. If Teddy Bridgewater plays, Broncos win. But if he does not, Pittsburgh wins.
Yep.
So conditional picks over here.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to change that during game time if that's the case. All right, let's move on to the next game. We have an NFC North battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Lions, another loss.
Another loss. Been competitive, but
Yeah, they've
still
been a
lost.
relatively good team. It's just can't finish.
I don't think they finish this week either. I think the
Ooh.
Vikings win this one. I don't know what's going on with the Vikings, but they're talented. They have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. So I think they win. And they're at home too.
They're out of the two winless teams, they're the best looking winless team. The Lions are. Well, they ain't really saying
Yeah.
too much of nothing, but long story short, I'm picking the Vikings. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions came away with their first win of the season with how the Vikings are. I wouldn't necessarily say downplaying, but they're not. You were just talking about the Steelers and how they aren't living up to their expectations. You can say the same thing about the Vikings.
Yeah,
And they only scored 7 points last week, which is kind of concerning. But
And like Cleveland pretty much damn near beat them with just field goals. Like they had one offensive touchdown and then like one touchdown and then the rest were just field goals. I think they missed the extra point, which was like the reason. Like they just ended up with 14 points.
Yeah.
This was tough. I really want to see Detroit win a game. Like I'm tired of seeing them lose. Like I feel like they're like at a point that like they have to win within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Like if they don't win within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's gonna be a long season for them.
Yeah.
And setting back another divisional opponent is huge, and like that's something that can really boost the team's confidence. So I'm taking the Lions. I have to take it. I picked them last week. They didn't get it done. I think there was too many errors. I think they have to turn it around this week, or I'm never picking them again.
Yeah,
you can hold me on to that.
It'd be good to see as a Bears fan, get another game hopefully above.
Yeah, that helps you guys out even more. And the Packers.
Bless you.
Staying in the division though.
In the division, slightly half and half.
Half.
Yeah. We have
3/4.
No, it's half. It's half. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams are 3-1. A lot of people would have not really considered that following, first of all, week 1 when the Packers got blown out by the Saints, and then 2, going into the season, you would have not thought Cincinnati would be leading the AFC North through the first quarter of the season.
That game was pretty good last week, actually. I don't think we mentioned.
I caught like the tail end of it and like a bits in the beginning. But
yeah, it was pretty good towards the end. Bengals, but they almost lost to the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Joe Burrow versus Aaron Rodgers. I think you gotta take Aaron Rodgers. I'm going with Green Bay.
Going with the Pack.
Well, I got some room to distance myself from you guys, so I'm gonna step out on a limb and pick the Bengals here today.
Ooh.
They both average 25 points a game. The Bengals defense is giving up less points, and the Bengals defense look okay, and they haven't, besides the Jags, they've had a pretty good schedule their first 4 games. So.
Yeah. Me and DJ were talking about this before we started recording today, and basically me and DJ were talking about the Bengals and how Bengals are kind of like my new shiny little toy, right? Like I was bragging about them, but I never picked them. I finally picked them last week. They won, thank God. But aside from that, I really want to pick them in this game with you as well. But it's so hard to go against Aaron Rodgers. And we have Joey here. Joey is a big Green Bay fan. And Joey, give us some insight on the Packers.
Well, I'm honestly scared of the Bengals, guys. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow with that deep threat. I don't know. Normally, I wouldn't doubt it, considering, Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes I like, Kevin King is Kevin King. But now we don't even have Jair Alexander. Eric Stokes might be cornerback 1 out there because Kevin King's so god-awful. And I just think that Joe Burrow and Jamar are going to go right after it, and they're going to run up the scoreboard. But I still think Green Bay's going to pull out with the victory.
I think it's going to be a close game between the two, honestly. And like you said, I think Green Bay can come out on top. It's definitely like, who's going to have possession of the ball last in this game? If it's Green Bay, 100% they win. If it's Cincinnati, 50-50 they win.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's so like disheartening because I want to pick both of the teams if I can, So I'll pick Green Bay just to be safe here. But I would not be surprised if somehow Cincinnati pulls off the win, just because the way they've been performing this year has been very inspiring to have confidence in them winning this type of game. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And surprisingly, this might be the first, hopefully the only time that I go against my Dolphins because
wow.
Welcome to the realist side.
I know.
Take some time. We're here.
It's still not decided yet. It's still not fully confirmed whether or not. But the Dolphins just have not looked good offensively. Defensively, you can only do so much unless you're on the field 24/7. Like it's so much you can do. Like if your defense is bailing you out and you cannot convert, you can't, at least freaking kick a field goal. Like when you get it. What?
Jeez, calm down.
No, it's gotten to a point that it's at frustration. You have a good game, week 1, close game, and then you follow it up with getting blown out. You have a lead, you lose it, you come back, and then lose in overtime. And then you have a decent first quarter, disappear for the rest of the game, come back alive in the fourth quarter, and it's too little too late. So, like, it's just been so many, like, one thing on another, on another, on another, on another. And then you can't do that against the defending champions in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So
what are you saying?
It's going to be Tampa who wins this game.
All right. Well,
Long story short, I'm picking Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa as well. And the cool thing about this game is that both of these teams are actually in Florida.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys knew that or
Oh,
not.
dude, for real? Tampa's in Florida?
And Miami, dude, yeah.
No, Miami's its own country, so.
But anyways, so I'm going with
definitely think it.
I'm going with Tampa. That fact was the most interesting part of this game, honestly, because Dolphins might get blown out like we saw the Bills do.
I really hope. I'll be fine with them losing the game. It's matters fact. If they can compete in this game, I'll be happy.
I'm picking the Buccaneers too. No need to elaborate.
Yeah, I think I did all the elaborating for you guys, honestly.
Thanks, buddy.
Speaking of elaborate, you got the
easy pickings again.
Easy pickings?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, this might be a quick one. The next game is the New England Patriots at the Houston Texans.
All right, say your pick on 3. 1, 2, 3.
New
Texans.
England.
I'm picking. I'm playing.
I knew DJ was up to something when he was like introducing us to do it, man. Yeah, we're all going Patriots on this one, so let's make this one quick. I just want to, dabble into
Houston's
it.
Gonna disown you, bro.
Yeah, it's real.
Well,
what did H-Town do to you, dude?
First Max show, now this thing.
Well, you guys got to realize that's like my home away from home. Like how Florida is your home away from home. That's the same thing.
I think Florida's just Chris's home.
I'm a Florida man now.
Yeah, he's fully converted.
I've lived here long enough.
Yeah,
I'm more Florida now.
Yeah, he's cut lizards with his bare hands.
I'll recant my statement.
Shorts right now, and it's October.
You know the vibes. I was very impressed with how Mac Jones performed last Sunday against Tampa. Given their secondary is pretty depleted, yeah, he definitely was a better quarterback in that game. Yeah.
Cool.
He was a better quarterback in this game, and then I think it's Davis Mills or something like that is a quarterback for the Texans.
Yeah, Davis Mills.
He isn't that good. Turnover machine, if anything. Yeah. So just New England all the way on this one. DJ, let's have you introduce this next one.
This next game is very near and dear to my heart. We have the New Orleans Saints going to DC, the nation's capital, to play the football team, the Washington football team.
The football team of Washington.
That's in Washington.
Shout out to my parents. They're going to this game.
Hey. Papa Gamble.
Yeah, they're going out there. We got a guy from our neighborhood, DeShazier Everett, backup safety for the football team.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Still no reason. I'm still going to pick the Saints, but, just had to get a little plug in. Shout out to my guy.
Shout out to the boy.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you. I'm going to go with the Saints as well. I just think that... What? Who that? Who that is all I got to say, bro. Right. This, as much as like another one of those seems like kind of like the Bengals that I believe in Washington, not against the Saints team. Especially after having that loss against New York Giants last week in overtime. It was just not a good look for the Saints, especially in the game that you guys were pretty much in control for the most part. And then let the Giants kind of come back into. So Washington had a big win last week against Atlanta. It was very competitive, but at the end of the day, it just when it comes to this game, it's not going to be enough.
Hopefully, Sean Payton. I haven't seen 2 back-to-back weeks of shitty play calling, so hopefully that's not the case.
Do you think you exclude the Carolina game just for the mere fact that
just for the mere fact, like I said, you have your backup quarter, you have a backup quarterback out there managing substitutions for offense and defense. Yeah. Like who is? It's
not good.
Yeah, you can't not run away from that fact.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm going with the football team here.
The football team?
I don't know. The Saints are hot and cold to me this year so far. It's like one good game, one bad game. I think Washington gets back on track a bit with the defense, and I think Heineke can manage out a win here. So I'm going with them boys. in Washington.
He's definitely gonna have to manage a win because they're not gonna run the ball, which actually reminds me to bench Gibson. I'm glad we got that.
Why do you think? Why do you say that?
Because we're a top 5. Like throughout the years, we've always been a top 5 rush defense, and even this year, we're still statistically a top 5 rush defense. So if we force Heineke to put the ball in his hands, then hey,
that's the way they beat you guys. If so, that's the way they beat you guys. Well, we have reached the halfway point of week 5, and we just want to give a quick shout out to NFL Game Picker. Go ahead and check out NFLGamePicker.com for all your game picking needs. You can pick your games each and every week with your friends, families, and coworkers at NFLGamePicker.com. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina had a shocking loss to the Cowboys, and it was more so, how should I say this? I don't want to blame Sam Darnold. I just think it was more so the defense. The defense did not pull through because Zeke had 140-something yards. Tony Pollard, like 200 yards on the ground just between those two guys, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. And then Dak just literally had to just throw for a little bit. I think he had like 20-something passes, 14 completions, 188 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Like that's.
The Cowboys have been doing that to everybody though.
They've been very good offensively, and then you get
that defense has been good for the Panthers.
And then you plug in the Cowboys defense. But let's stop. I'm gonna stop talking about the Cowboys.
Hey,
Eagles.
Don't talk bad about the Panthers, bro. McCaffrey's brother might throw a clipboard at you, bro. Did you see that?
No, I don't understand what you're referencing
Dude,
at all.
look it up on your phone, man. I'm telling you, it's like all over ESPN right now. McCaffrey's brother hit a fan with a clipboard.
Why? Because McCaffrey's always injured, screwing my fantasy team.
Probably makes sense.
I had someone lowball me for a trade on McCaffrey. I'm like, dude, like
really?
He's coming back this week, and he was trying to give me David Montgomery, who just went out this past week. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, C-Max coming back this week?
Possibly. He just started practicing this week. So that's a big factor in picking either Carolina over this Philadelphia Eagles team, who has been decent offensively. Defensively hasn't been the best. They got that week 1 win against the Atlanta Falcons. And have not looked good since. So yeah, I'm Joey beat me to it, but I'm picking the Panthers.
Picking the Panthers too.
Same here. Easy pick. I don't think the Eagles are very good. I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts.
Depends on what how they call the game. The 2 games I've watched the Eagles, it seems like the play calling definitely determines how far they go with Jalen Hurts. Like the more complex stuff you throw, the harder it is for him to read the field.
I don't blame that too much. Next, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the AFC South matchup. I'm not too crazy about this game. Just for the mere fact that the Titans have been very lackadaisy. Like they have just
pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, like they have not been performing up to their expectations, especially after acquiring like big talent like Julio Jones. Given AJ Brown has been out for I believe the last 2 weeks. He went out early in the week 3, and then week 4 he was out. Hopefully he returns this week. But aside from that, Jacksonville still one of those only winless teams aside from the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Titans though. Either way, I think Trevor Lawrence should cut his hair. Maybe they'll win. Probably bad luck.
Maybe Urban Meyer should just stop going out to bars in Columbus. How about that?
I'm not gonna talk about that man's life.
Yeah,
I'm picking the Titans.
That's embarrassing.
The Jaguars.
It's a bad situation for
him. That too. Like your team. Oof. Did you guys see where it said like they didn't reveal who said it, but they was like, man, we don't even listen to what he says anymore.
Yeah, like the players, he's losing players' trust.
It was an anonymous player that said it.
It's definitely a tricky situation down there in Jacksonville. I mean, 4 weeks into it, you're already losing the trust.
Did he stop coaching the Gators like specifically because he wanted to like spend time with his wife and his family?
2 years later, Ohio State.
Yeah, then
and then the same similar situation in Ohio State, but it was more so for his health. So very interesting situation. I've seen a lot of, this is not related to NFL, but I've seen a lot of Miami Hurricane fans like pleading, wishing that Urban Meyer could be their next head coach over Manny Diaz. So I just find the whole situation kind of funny.
I was gonna ask about that. You think Miami should fire that coach?
Possibly. This is neither the show or the league that we should be talking about it on. I'm gonna go with Tennessee to keep things moving. And Chris, I know you have some
insight. So you want me to take it away?
On this game.
Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly Oakland.
Yeah, formerly Oakland.
And
it's an inside joke. You guys would never get that.
Yeah, you'll never get that. But
Just don't understand.
I'm gonna roll with the Bears. We lost David Montgomery. Luckily, he's not out the whole year. He'll be out probably a good 4 or 5 weeks.
It appeared to be a scary injury because he was like clutching his knee and like just like in so much pain, and then next thing you know, like not playing anymore, and then news come out recently that he's going to be out for a projected 4 to 5 weeks. So that's a lot better than what could have been the worst situation, possibly tearing his ACL.
I think for sure, he's like a ton of our offense for sure. It's gonna be a big hole. Plus, Damian Williams got hurt too, so I haven't seen it.
In practice or in the game?
In the game. And I didn't see what happened to him, but I know he's out too, and I haven't seen any reports. And Tariq Cohen still has yet to come back, so I'm not even really sure who's going to be running the ball for us.
I haven't heard of Tariq Cohen in
almost forgot he was on the team.
He was supposed to come back week 1, and I think he had some sort of setback. Anyways, so I think they're going to really rely on Justin Fields, and our defense has been playing really good, getting a lot of turnovers, being more fun to watch than the offense, in all honesty.
This past week, the offense was fun to watch, though.
I feel like they're going to pass a lot. They haven't really been letting Fields throw the ball more than like 20 times a game.
Okay, so like that's what I was just about to bring up because you guys had this big run game.
Yeah.
That I think complements Fields well. If you guys can run the ball effectively, you guys are in very good position with Fields being your quarterback. Now, that being said, David Montgomery and Damian Williams possibly out for this game.
Yeah.
Like Damian,
it's rough. That's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna really put the ball in Fields' hands, and if they win, it's gonna be because he's finally like catching some heat. You know what I'm saying? Getting in a rhythm, playing well.
I think it's gonna be hard for him to do that without that running attack.
The Bears have been pretty good against the Raiders last few years too, so we'll see.
So
I don't think
based off
Raiders
history, you're picking.
I'm going the Bears. Hopefully they get after Carr on defense and Fields can make some plays.
I want to let DJ get some word in on this one.
I mean, Chris just gave me every reason not to pick the Bears, and he's still picked the Bears. So I'm picking the Raiders in this game. If the ball's going to be in Justin Fields' hand the majority of the time, based off the game and a half sample, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, like I'm picking the Raiders as well, just for the mere fact that every reason Chris just said. But like I totally agree because it's your lead back that had a dominant performance is not going to be on the field for next quarter of the season. Your backup behind him just got recently hurt, and then the guy who could be in any of those spots is a no-show.
Hakeem Hicks got hurt too on the first play, and then he came back in.
Yeah, so the Bears are just rifled with injuries, and then if you have Justin Fields throwing the ball every single play on offense, it's not. Or if Matt Nagy
calls plays, we're doing.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's just unfortunate.
He'll say he didn't call the plays. So.
He was like real like defensive in the press. Did you see the press conference? He's like,
I saw the clip of.
Still like everything still goes through me, and like he's like the success is like our staff and he's like they give me good ideas and blah blah blah, but everything goes through me.
Literally, bro.
And I'm like, bro, relax. You're the head coach, bro. You have the title, dude. Like, chill.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation there in Chicago. Like, I'm happy you guys won last week, and like it looked a lot better as an offense, but it's just a sticky situation. And then the Raiders came up short against the Chargers, but I think they can bounce back against the Bears, unfortunately.
Hell of a second half.
Yeah. I would say hell of a third quarter, if anything. But they started getting things rolling, and then I turned away, look back, and it's like the fourth quarter, 28-14, and it's like 3 minutes left. I'm like, what the hell happened? That's aside from the point. But speaking about the Los Angeles Chargers, This week they host the Cleveland Browns at SoFi Stadium, LA Chargers.
Nice.
Both teams are 3-1. I'm not really surprised with that. I'm more
Yeah.
so surprised about, like, if I had to say who I'm more surprised about, it's the Chargers.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't project them to have this type of development this far into the season. What about you guys?
I think it's pretty shocking, but I like Herbert. Although I'm gonna go with the Browns this week. I just think the Browns defense is really good. That's pretty much why I'm choosing them. Just getting after a young quarterback, and I think Baker has played decently enough that he could muster out another win per se.
You know what?
So
On a
you-
side note, you know what like irks my nerves about you, bro? You just was talking about how the Cowboys run the ball with like 200 yards and
Yeah.
Dak doesn't need to throw it. And you just turn around and criticize Baker for the exact same thing that you just gave praise to Dak for. Oh, man.
Baker's not Dak though.
I'm not saying he was, but he's doing the same thing and you're bashing him. But I'm still picking the Chargers though, as a segue, not to get everybody hyped that I'm picking the Browns or anything. I'm picking the Chargers. Their offenses look nice and their defense is coming back along to what could be a very great looking defense by the end of the season. They got all the pieces to be a great defense. So
And then the offense is no joke either. So
yeah.
this was pretty hard. I think this is probably one of the more so like closely contested matchups of this week. And that's just because the Browns have a really good rushing attack that sets up Baker Mayfield to have success.
Yeah.
Unlike
Yeah.
Chris would have to. Oh, you're agreeing.
No, they have a good run game. I never disagree.
But does it set up an easier play style for Baker Mayfield?
yeah, but Baker Mayfield isn't even playing that great, honestly.
I'm not
They're
saying-
not scoring the ball.
I'm not saying he's
They
playing
scored
great.
14 points last week.
I
He
know.
barely won.
No. I'm not saying that he's playing great, but I'm saying
What are you saying?
running
bro?
game
Do you
is-
even know what you're saying?
yeah,
right
that the
now?
running game is setting up easier plays for Baker Mayfield. It's taking a lot more stress off of him. Would you not agree?
I would agree, man.
Okay.
That's some great research you did there.
Wow. I mean, I did a lot of research on it last night, working on my homework, but
But no, that was their lowest scoring game of the season.
was.
So I think they bounced back, and I think they beat the Chargers here.
I don't know. I got to pick the Chargers on this one.
Whoa.
Shout out to my boy Caesar.
Who's Caesar?
You'll see. He's a big Chargers fan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's besides the point. But yeah, I'm picking the Chargers. I think the progression of Justin Herbert has helped the Chargers a lot. Because if you're saying Justin Herbert is not the quarterback that he's been performing as this year, the Chargers are going to be far from 3-1. They could probably be the opposite way, 1-3. So that's about it on this game. Let's move on to the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys, aka America's team, as Chris likes to say it.
Speaking of America's team, we
Yeah.
can go ahead and lock those boys in
Ooh.
as a gamble lock of the week.
Whoa.
The Cowboys have looked impressive through 4 games. Their offense, they're running the ball very well, as Chris alluded to earlier. They're second in 5.3 yards a carry, and Dak Prescott's doing what he's need to do. Their defense is looking fairly good through the first 4 games. They got Lil Diggs out there, Trayvon Diggs, Lil
Yeah.
Diggs.
Dude, Trayvon Diggs has been huge.
5.
I didn't know he was Stephon Diggs' brother.
I thought they were
3
bull
weeks
jiving.
ago,
Yeah.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah, I thought they were bull jiving, like just being funny. But yeah, Lil Diggs is out there putting in work.
I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Bull driving.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before. That's some Texas stuff right there, huh?
That's
You never heard
Southern
that
slang.
phrase, dude?
Yeah.
Jeez, you'd be bull driving then, dude.
For
real.
Oh man. To keep things bull driving, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys.
You just gonna hear Austin say bull driving the
That's
next,
it.
next like
Dag,
10
dude,
times.
you guys got my vocabulary flowing.
Dag, bro.
All right, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Dallas. I think the boys get it done. Giants haven't looked that great.
Nope.
So I'm gonna roll with Dallas for sure.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
I'm really happy with like the way their offense is going, and now their defense has looked like the defense that they've been talking about
On paper,
for
like,
years.
yeah.
For years, they've been like the Cowboys defense this, the Cowboys defense
Yeah.
that. This year, they're kind of walking the walk and talking the talk. So, and the offense is obviously good. You have Zeke and you have Dak, and I think those two just come paired together. And then you have Amari Cooper, who, even though he didn't have a big emphasis on last Sunday's game, still big presence on the field for the Cowboys. And now let's take it to Steve Opilo for his lock of the week: the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals.
Hey, I'm Steve Opilo, creator of NFLGamePicker.com, and this is my lock of the week for 2021 Week 5. I was going to pick on Austin's Dolphins a little bit this week, since without Tua, they're headed to Tampa. That's going to be a tough test, but they get a pass, only because San Francisco has an even bigger test headed to the desert this week to face an incredible Arizona pass rush. Actually, that whole defense is playing lights out. I remember watching the first week of the year. They just destroyed the Tennessee Titans, and they've looked pretty much unstoppable ever since, offensively and defensively. So that's going to be a long night. I mean, Garoppolo's hurt. Even if he does play, he's not going to be exceptional. If Trey Lance starts, it'll be an even longer night for San Francisco fans. So yeah, I think that one's going to be really, really tough for San Francisco to win. So my lock of the week this week will be the Arizona Cardinals.
DJ, lead off this NFC West.
Good game.
This is a very good game, and I'm sticking with the hot birds.
Ooh.
Those Arizona Cardinals.
I like how you called them hot birds.
Yeah, man, they were every bit of it.
Buds.
Yeah. San Francisco, our boy Joey mentioned earlier that they don't even they're not sure how to game plan with the Trey Lance situation. So
that's an interesting situation because Jimmy Garoppolo went out with a calf or hamstring injury. It's calf, right? He went out with a calf injury, and Trey Lance played the majority of the second half.
Yeah.
Almost made a comeback against the Seahawks, but it wasn't enough. Cardinals looking like the damn near best football team in the NFL. No? Joey disagrees with me. Joey, why do you disagree?
They're the only undefeated team left so far.
That's one thing that automatically puts them in that conversation. But aside from that, it's their offense. Their offense is really good. Their team is looking like a whole team.
Yeah.
The defense backs up the offense. They're not the best defense, but they play when it matters. Like, they make those plays when the team needs them to, and that's all you can ask for defense.
You know what's crazy about the Cardinals too? Like, D-Hop hasn't really been active. AJ Green has been, he's taking advantage of the third and fourth string matchup. So once they get the ball rolling like that, and not just relying on that run game.
Dude, that wide receiver depth is crazy.
Yeah. Kyler Murray looks good. Christian Kirk looks good too. I'm going to roll with Arizona as well.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for San Francisco to try to pull off a win against this Arizona team with Trey Lance as the starting quarterback. He has shown glimmers of hope, and he could be really good. But is it his time yet? I don't think so. I think he just needs a little bit more time just to get in the swing of things. And especially getting thrown in the middle of a game. It's hard. It's hard to do that. So a full game under his belt could be a whole different story.
Can't be no worse.
It could be a surprising game.
Can't be no worse than the other rookie quarterbacks this year so far.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, out of all of them, Mac Jones has looked the best.
Yeah.
Plus, Arizona has been getting a ton of sacks too. So gotta go with the Cardinals.
That's gonna be a hard defensive line.
I want to see that matchup too. See what Shanahan does with the rollouts now with the mobile quarterback to neutralize that pass rush that you're talking about. That's gonna be a nice chess match to watch.
Definitely. Now we have Sunday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a rematch of the AFC Championship. Bills have looked like the team that have been on the roll. Like they were in last year. They had that week 1 loss, and since then have looked amazing. I mean,
they've won 2 teams out and shut 2 teams out.
Yeah, so that's boosted their numbers, but they have a 90-point differential.
Yeah,
in all their games, total.
They've won 35 and 40-0, so there's
that's 70.
Right there.
That's 75 points right there. So I mean, when you look at that number, it's insane. But
and the other one must be 15 points. Or what's the record? 3-1.
Yeah, because they lost.
They lost the first.
They lost to
so
Pittsburgh.
that
remember?
Goes against them, but
yeah, still.
And the Chiefs have not looked like a team that,
except for Tyreek Hill,
went to the AFC Championship last year.
But that's what happened when you play man cover. Like, what do you think is gonna happen, bro?
They call him the cheetah for a reason.
The dumbest thing you could ever.
If you had him on fantasy, bro,
47 points. That was around the average that he put up, and that's big numbers for a wide receiver. You'll see that from players like Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, players like that. Like they go off. If they have a good running game and a good receiving game, like they're gonna definitely get those points in. But
Who are you picking now?
oh man,
I'm gonna just go out and already
Go
tell
ahead.
you guys who I'm picking since you're still mulling over it a bit. I'm gonna roll with the Bills, man. It's a tough game. I'm gonna probably watch
Circling
this
the
one
wagon?
definitely on myself. You know, one of the games that's probably the most interesting to me, I think. But I'm gonna roll with the Bills.
is it more interesting than your Bears?
Could potentially be more.
Because
Because the Bears just gonna blow the Raiders out and it might be boring for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Bills in this game as well. The first off, shout out to my guy Justin. He's a huge Bills Mafia guy. He gives me all of my insider information about the Bills.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my little Bills insider. But the Chiefs or Patrick Mahomes, he, like you said, I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs this year, but
it's more so
Yeah.
their defense more than anything. But I just
their defense has always been an Achilles heel because they've just been able to mask it with putting up points on almost every freaking possession.
and then but you also gotta look at it like when their defense shows up, it's literally postseason time. Like
Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing ever. Like right now, early on in the season, it's gonna be hard to say, that Chiefs defense can really try to stop.
They got some
Josh Allen.
injuries too
Yeah.
on defense.
You guys are really about to make me go Kansas City just for the mere fact that's
Hey,
a game
if
I
you
can
wanna
go
be
against you
another
guys.
game,
And they're at
down,
home.
man.
But
It's
at
in
Oh
Arrowhead.
yeah, Arrowhead too.
It's in Arrowhead,
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football.
You gotta do
I think
it.
this is the first
do
time. I think this is the first time this season that the Bills have really faced like a team that one can beat them and two can can just match them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City. Let's do it. Lock it in, baby.
Lock it.
Lock it. Pop, lock, and drop it.
Okay.
Wow.
And then we finally have Monday Night Football. The Indianapolis
Monday
Colts
night.
at
Dun, dun,
the
dun,
Baltimore Ravens.
dun.
I think we all get hyped for the Monday Night
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
You love that
Is
intro.
this another easy one, you think?
For me, it is
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going Baltimore.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the end of the show, guys. No, I'm kidding. Baltimore.
That's all she wrote.
Well, no, let's talk about something that the Baltimore can do if they.
They do play down to their opponents, like they played down to the Lions, but
Yeah. This could be a record-breaking game for the Ravens. It could be the 44th straight game with 100
Yeah.
rushing yards, which is mind-boggling. That's like a 3-year
Colts are probably gonna
Run.
play just to try to shut that out.
for real, especially after they did it like on the last play
Yeah.
against the Broncos to ensure that they got it, because like it was uncertain they were gonna get it, and then the Broncos score or something like that with like 3 seconds left.
Foresight.
Yeah.
Foresight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
enough time for the Ravens to get a quick 4-yard rush in. So, yeah, I'm going Baltimore. We all are.
Yeah.
Aside from that, seeing the Colts last week playing the Dolphins, Jonathan Taylor's a beast. So it's gonna be a good
is.
running game on both sides of the ball. You have Lamar Jackson, one of the most mobile quarterbacks, and then you have just their backfield. It's a plethora of guys who could do something. I mean, they have like Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray. So there's some guys there in that backfield. So it's definitely.
I don't know about
Gonna be a good
Le'Veon
rusher.
Bell. I think he's washed.
I just think he didn't care about anything when he was in
The Jets.
the Jets. Yeah, it was just I got my money and
What
Yeah.
about
I'm start
KC?
rapping going down to KC. I mean, that was just like
They didn't use him.
he
that
got there
much
late,
either,
so like it
yeah.
was just like
They didn't use him
he
that
just
much.
ride the wave like LaShawn McCoy get a free ring.
Yeah,
don't
pretty
do any
much,
work in the
yeah.
group project get an A.
Yeah, but hey, he earned it, right?
Yeah,
That's what
I
he
think
says.
yeah,
he
man.
earned it.
he did.
I guess
He did.
he's on the team.
Yeah.
So
That pretty much wraps up week 5.
week 5.
Anything else that you guys feel like we didn't touch on?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that's been week 5. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.
Thanks. Later.